Hello, welcome to my channel, Save Infinity. So in this video, just wanted to do a little reading from the tarot for you. So if it has found you, then I trust that it is for you. However, as always with timeless collective readings, take what resonates, leave what doesn't, and use your own discernment. Alrighty, let's see what wishes to come out from the tarot today for you. God, Spirit, Source, Mother Gaia, Angels, Archangels, Ascended Masters. What messages of guidance do you have for the collective today? Thank you, thank you, thank you. What messages of guidance? I guess that's alright, that'll do. Okay, slight little disruption there. Alrighty, what messages of guidance wish to come through for the collective today? What messages of guidance? Okay, my goodness. Funny, the Seven of Swords coming out after the disruption, the disruptive card. What messages wish to come out for the collective today? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Alright, God, Spirit, Source, Mother Gaia, Angels, Archangels, Ascended Masters. What messages of guidance wish to come out for the collective today? Oh, that one's flipped over. Might take him out. Or her, I should say. Okay. I might just see if one or two more cards want to come out. I'm feeling, but let's see. Otherwise, I'll leave it at that. Well, three came out straight there. That one flipped around. I don't know. That all seems a little chaotic. I might take those back in. I feel like they came out a bit too soon, a bit chaotically. Alright, any further messages to come out for this message? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. Oh, two flipped over there, so I'll grab those out. Right. Okay. Maybe we'll pop it. It's feeling like this. Right, well, go with them like that. All right, so this, the feeling I'm getting from this energy is that, you know, there is a somewhat normally happy type union between, say, a Queen of Pentacles and Knight of Cups type energy here. But that, you know, with the Seven of Swords and Five of Wands in between here is kind of, you know, making what would normally be a happy union type relationship and energy not be so great and wonderful. You know, the Seven of Swords being a quite sort of trickery, elusive, you know, sneaky type energy, and the Five of Wands being, you know, a lot of like fighting and quarreling and bickering and battling and you know, so not such great energies. And whether that's, you know, the energy between the two here, you know, in a union, you know, whether that's the energy between the two, between the couple themselves, you know, kind of being a bit sneaky behind each other's back and a lot of fighting and bickering, or whether it's sort of outside energies that has an impact on the relationship, you know, whether it's friends or family or third parties or what have you. But there's just this sense of you know, Seven of Swords and Five of Wands type energy of sneaky and elusive and bickering and quarreling And that sort of energy is, you know, making what would normally ordinarily be a quite, you know, happy union not be a happy union at all, you know, unfortunately. So, and you know, that can be a hard position to be in when you can feel and sense what could be, you know, a happy and great and wonderful union, but then there are these energies kind of, you know, interfering with that. You know, and again, whether it's just the energy between the couple themselves or whether it's outside energy, either way, it is impacting on the relationship and on the happiness and potential of the relationship. And so I kind of feel like the message and guidance from Spirit here is that although you may be able to sense the, you know, all the positive aspects of this sort of relationship and union here, that you can't ignore this 7 of Swords and 5 of Wands type energy. You can't ignore this more negative type energy that is also having a role to play here in this union. And so not just focusing on the positive and completely, you know, ignoring the negative sort of thing and kind of accepting it all for what it is, and, you know, taking the fool's journey type approach of taking that leap of faith into a new beginning, starting a new adventure, you know, having that, you know, that bold, whimsical approach to a brand new journey. You know, taking a risk to leave the past behind and to leave this union behind, and to really take a leap into the unknown, which will lead you to a 9 of Cups energy, like a, you know, a wishes granted, you know, your emotions being fulfilled, dreams coming true type energy. With a King of Cups energy, which, you know, I hate to say, but is also a, you know, a slight upgrade from the Knight of Cups energy as well, which is, you know, always a welcomed surprise, a welcome treat, right? And so by kind of, you know, releasing what isn't working here and, you know, taking that leap of faith into a, you know, the unknown will lead you to, you know, dreams coming true and wishes being granted, into a new union with a new energy that has even more, like has an even bigger cup of love than the previous one. So even though the previous union and relationship seemed so great and wonderful and, you know, like had all this wonderful 2 of Cups energy here and can be hard to, you know, leave behind, but it also came with all this, you know, baggage as well of the, you know, the sneaky, elusive trickery and fighting and bickering and quarreling type energy. And so sort of leaving all that behind, you'll be, you know, stepping into the unknown, taking that leap of faith. You're really going to be surprised here of your dreams coming true with an even bigger cup of love, you know, someone that has even greater emotional stability and fulfillment to provide you in a union, which is, you know, great and wonderful and exciting news. Never so great to be kind of caught up in a union that has so much promise and so much wonder and magic, but is also kind of, you know, being dampened by all this more sort of, you know, negative sort of type energy that's, you know, not so pleasant to experience and is not the sort of energy that you want in a relationship at all, you know. And so it can be hard to really give up the positives of such a relationship, but Spirit's really heeding you here that, you know, even though there may be so much positive aspects about this relationship here, that it does come with all this, you know, unnecessary baggage that's just bringing everything down and isn't energy you want to be experiencing at all. And so, you know, taking that leap of faith and just being surprised by your wishes and dreams being granted with, you know, something that's even more fulfilling than what you had before. So it can always be scary and daunting to kind of take that leap of faith to start that new chapter, but knowing that you are going to be rewarded here on the other side is, your dreams and wishes coming true. And so although it may not look that way at first and can seem a bit scary, really stepping into that full energy, being a bit whimsical and adventurous and, just taking that, what might look like a silly leap of faith and a silly risk to other people, but just doing the jump and going for it. And then it's really going to lead to so much fulfillment here, where you're not going to have to worry about all this sort of sneaky bickering, sort of type energy at all, that you don't need to be, experiencing or delving into. So quite a quick and straightforward to the point message here from Spirit, kind of saying, the negative isn't kind of, worth your hassle here in this sort of relationship that you may be caught up in. And so, the good isn't outweighing the bad in this aspect. The good isn't worth the bad. It's kind of, too much trouble than it's worth. And so take that leap of faith, go on to a brand new adventure, and you'll be surprised by what awaits you around the corner here. And you can, ending up with your dreams and wishes fulfilled with even more love than you previously thought was possible and was possible in your previous union. So it's a wonderful and great outlook for you taking that leap of faith. I'll see if there's anything further that, Spirit wishes to provide for this message, God, Source, Spirit, Mother Gaia, Angels, Archangels, anything further you wish to provide for the message here for the collective, just to sum it up at all. That's quite to the point there, the World card coming out. Woo! Okay, let's take those two. So we've got the World, the Four of Cups, and the Page of Wands coming out. So let's pop those down. So to sum up the end of the message, I feel the cards that have come out here are, coming out to say, with the World, that, not only is this a cycle completed here with this previous chapter, a closing of that chapter. It's reached its natural conclusion here, and it's, time for you to move on. But, by doing this and entering this new chapter, you're entering a chapter of so much success and triumph and victory, fulfillment and unity. And so, although one door closes, another one opens type aspect, but in a way that is bringing about, so much success and ecstasy and happiness and joy. So all this freedom and new journey is, almost taking you to your promised land, if you will. So, not being discouraged by something ending, and instead focusing on all the wonder of the new that's beginning and can begin for you. And then with the Four of Cups energy coming out here, I feel like that's kind of, pointing to maybe your energy a bit at the moment. You're feeling a little bit dissatisfied, or, just not quite wanting to look at the whole picture here, and just kind of focusing a little more on the doom and gloom of the ending and of all the, the sadness and sorrow that can bring, which is totally warranted and totally fair enough. But just knowing that as you're focusing on that one cup there, that there's all these, 3 other cups here that are awaiting you in this brand new chapter. So to not be completely, swept away with those more negative emotions and feelings. Obviously allow yourself to grieve as you need to, and release this old chapter as you need to, but not to do so in such a pessimistic way, knowing that there is so much around the corner awaiting you. So much wonder and magic and happiness. You know, especially with the Nine of Cups and the World card, like there are very amazing type cards to come out to let you know what's in store for you. So, you know, I feel like Spirit would almost be having a little chuckle that you're in this Four of Cups energy, feeling a bit dissatisfied with your current circumstances, not realizing that there's, you know, 3 cups here full of so much wonder. And, you know, I feel like with the Page of Wands coming out here, you know, it could be a sign as well that as part of this new chapter that you're going to receive some new exciting news. But I do feel like so it's kind of the energy that Spirit's kind of encouraging you to step into, you know, as you enter this new chapter here, stepping out of the sort of Four of Cups energy, and as you kind of embark on your Fool's journey and take that leap of faith into this new chapter, having that sort of Page of Wands energy where, you know, you are daring and, you know, taking that action and, you know, full of, you know, energetic energy and courage and passion and, you know, being really excited for your new venture. You know, having that sort of energy of that sort of Page of Wands, of that, you know, really passionate young person that's, you know, daring with initiative and courageous and bold, you know, stepping more into that sort of energy and allowing yourself to have the vitality of that energy as you embark on this Fool's journey here into your brand new chapter. You know, allow yourself the time to grieve this older cycle as you need, but don't dwell in that sort of dissatisfied energy, and then, you know, step a little more into that sort of, you know, passionate, courageous, excitable sort of energy as you become the Fool on your new chapter, knowing that, you know, as this chapter closes, you're kind of closing that cycle out in a way that brings in this new cycle with so much new, wondrous, victorious energy, full of success and dreams and wishes being granted in a way that was even more fulfilling than you previously had ever experienced. So, you know, very, very exciting and encouraging message to come through. You know, as sad and troublesome as that sort of energy can be, knowing that, you know, you can close that chapter and you have so much joy and happiness awaiting you beyond your wildest dreams. And so don't be afraid to be excited, to be bold, to be daring, to be courageous, to be confident, and to really, you know, delve into all the wonder and magic that Spirit has waiting for you. You know, grieve as you need, allow those old chapters to close and fall away, but just don't get stuck and bogged down there. So much magic and happiness is on the way to you, you know, greater than you ever could have dreamed. You know, as I mentioned earlier, you know, like taking that leap of faith into the promised land where all your wishes and dreams truly do come true. All right, well, very, very exciting and encouraging message to come through. I'll leave this one here for now, but, you know, wishing you all the best on your journey and sending you so much peace, love, light, and blessings as always. Bye.